We have to do, since it's Monday, I act as if I have some kind of theme to this, but I'll just do it again. We have to do overreaction versus reality. Got it? Overreaction versus reality. Overreaction. Current, put it in all caps, current Texas Attorney General. I said current. He's back at work, citizens. Way to go. Current Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was railroaded by liberals. Reality. Your moral compass is back to work because he was acquitted of corruption charges, with the judge presiding who makes Ted Cruz look like and sound like he's sincere. The Winston Churchill of Texas, that's Dan Patrick, was presiding over this incredibly detailed legal entity. And man, were they thorough. So your political heroes are spineless and immoral. The staff of Ken Paxton risked and have now probably lost their political careers by testifying, and I should add, in great detail, against their boss, who was, do I have to say allegedly now? No, he was accused of. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have to say that now. A little difficult to say, but I'll try it. Their boss, who's now the chief law enforcement officer of the state of Texas, again, taxpayers. Congratulations to you, taxpayers. Aren't you proud of yourself and your state? You happy? You got everything you wanted. So the current chief law enforcement officer of the state of Texas, the staff that worked for him, the ultra-conservative staff that testified against him in great detail, they pretty much they lost their political careers because they testified their boss was getting paid off for favors and to cover up his mistress. The Republican Party in this state, should I say, has become or continues to be, take your pick, I don't care, continues to be an unethical embarrassment and will face zero consequences. None whatsoever. Nothing will change. Congratulations, taxpayers. Overreaction. The Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the NFC. Reality. Almost. I can easily say they are, but I'll try here. No, they're not the best team in the NFC yet, but they're close. As in, really close. As in, I don't think I could win an argument otherwise. I think the best team is still San Francisco. I'm going to say I think, and I'm pausing a lot, but your Dallas Cowboys are not far behind at all, if at all. Dallas has now beaten the state of New York by a combined score of 70-10. And it's not even that close. I mean, it's 70-10 against the state of New York, and it's much worse. If these were prize fights, they would have been called a long time ago. Had Aaron Rodgers been playing against Dallas on Sunday, would it have mattered? No, not really. He'd be running for his life, too. I mean, you can stretch it and say had Aaron Rodgers been playing for the Jets on Sunday, which is what everybody wanted, including the Jets now for sure, but it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I'm sorry. No. Dallas would still have crushed the Jets. He couldn't have escaped the Dallas pass rush any better than the kid who was running for his life, who's just awful. But forget for a second, just forget the incredibly and ridiculously good Dallas defense. Just forget it for a second. Just wipe that one out for a second, because I'm not sure there's anyone better in football. All right? But if you want to forget about it, then do that, because I think there's something else to talk about, something that is not well, it's all people want to talk about, so I'm going to do that. Let's talk about the Dallas offense and its quarterback. Yeah. Dak Prescott started the game with 13 completions. He finished the first half 21 of 26. One of them was a drop. He finished the day 31 of 38. And ready for it? No interceptions. CeeDee Lamb had 11 catches for 143 yards. 9 different Dallas players caught at least one pass, including somebody by the name of Rico Dowdle, which is now my favorite name and favorite football player of all time. His name is really Rico Dowdle, Dowdle. He caught a pass for 17 yards. Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in football. Done. Got it? Clearly. Ask the state of New York if he's not the best defensive player in the game today. But the Dallas offense did this, was close to perfect on Sunday. And they didn't do this against the Texans or the Colts or the Cardinals or some trash team like that. They did it against one of the better defenses and better secondaries in all of football, including one of the 3 best cornerbacks in all of football in Sauce Gardner. That's who they did this against. They owned them. They owned the Jets defense. So, and they did it, by the way, without their second best receiver in Brandon Cooks. The Jets ran, I believe, 46 plays total. Dallas had 84 or 85. You can't get much. Forget the defense. That's easy now. You surely by now, after me telling you all summer long how good their defense is, forget that. They just went up against probably a top 5 to 8 defense, and they shoved them around like it was nothing. By the way, Brandon Aubrey, their brand new field goal kicker, went 5 of 5. Hit a long of 55. Nobody wants any part of Dallas right now. Nobody. They couldn't be better. In fact, the only risk, and it's weird to even say this, the NFL is a long, long year. And what you really want to do is be playing your best football and be healthiest come December and January. So the only thing you could say if you wanted to is, oh boy, are they peaking in September? Nobody wants that team. Nobody wants any part of them right now. And there's no aspect of their game that you can even question right now. And that includes their quarterback who hasn't thrown an interception yet. Overreaction. There's a lot to take away from Texas struggling for 3 quarters at home against Wyoming. Not really. Reality, not really. I mean, it was boring. I don't know how anybody could stay awake. It was awful offensive football for 3 quarters. Quinn Ewers had, going into the end of the 3rd quarter, had 87 yards. But Texas blew the game open and won by 21. So how could I just dismiss that they would struggle against a pretty bad Wyoming team at home? Because it doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't matter. The game has no impact struggling at home for 3 quarters. And remember, they blew it up. All most people know is it's 31-10. That's what most people know. They didn't cover the spread again. But most people know 31-10, and that's it. The game has, in my opinion, the game has no impact on their final 4 chances. It does nothing, even though his numbers were terrible. Quinn Ewers finished up 11 of 21 for 131 yards. It's average at best. I don't think it does anything to hurt him and going to New York for the Heisman Trophy. I know it sounds ridiculous to say right now, but it doesn't hurt that at all. It won't. His future, Quinn Ewers' future, is decided against Oklahoma. Texas's Final Four future is decided against Oklahoma. That's it. That's what's left in front of them. They can scratch and just get by mediocre teams, and it's not going to matter. They're ranked high enough now that all that matters is the high-profile game or games, there's only 2 or 3 left, that they win. Now, lose another one along the way, and you may be out, and the whole thing may be blown up. But they'll be double-digit favorites against everybody other than Oklahoma and Kansas State. Overreaction. The Texans are better than they were a year ago. Reality. No, they're not. Nope. They just found different ways to suck. Gosh, what an awful franchise. They just lost, the Texans. They just lost by double digits at home to the Indianapolis Colts. Nobody does that. You know that? Nobody does that. That's one of the 4 worst teams in football. Their defensive genius new head coach, who they brought in from San Francisco, who is Mr. Defensive Whisperer, right? You know, they brought him in to coach the defense and fix the defense and all that stuff. Yeah, well, that defensive genius and his defense gave up 31 points at home to the Colts and somebody named Gardner Minshew. That's the defensive genius. He gave up 31 at home to the Colts. The Colts had C.J. Stroud had 384 yards passing. So the defense is so lousy under the defensive whisperer that they ruined a 384-yard passing day by C.J. Stroud. How do you have almost 400 yards in passing and give up 31 points at home and lose? How do you do that? Oh, I know, you're the Texans. You always suck. That was at home to the Colts. That's impossible to say. No, they're not better than they were a year ago. Overreaction. Colorado is one of the best 3 teams in the Pac-12. Reality? No. In fact, they're far down the list, I think. I know it's the coolest story of the day. It's a lot of fun. It's don't want that buzz to end. Deion Sanders is great for the game. All that stuff. Okay? I mean, that sideline is littered with superstars. You watch the pregame show, and it's The Rock is out there gushing over Deion Sanders. Are you kidding me? So they had to come back, though, against Colorado State at home. Now, it was exciting football. I'm not saying it's very good football, but you're not one of the best 3 teams in the Pac-12, the best league in the country, if you have to come back at home against Colorado State. And we're about to find out where they really are, just in the context of the Pac-12. They go on the road to Oregon. I believe it's this weekend. There are 7 Pac-12 teams ranked. So it's not a stretch to say Colorado, for all the hype and all the sex appeal and all the stuff that's there to like. It's fun. They might be the 6th or 7th best team in their own league. You know, the league that is folding? You know, the league that is Radio Shack? They might only be the 6th or 7th best team in their own league, and they're a cool story. It's the best conference. Nobody's close. I'm going to stick with 6 wins for Colorado, and that's still a pretty amazing accomplishment. Their energy and their depth is probably going to run pretty thin pretty quickly. Overreaction. I just want to talk about the congresswoman from Colorado all the time. I just want to keep reading the headlines over and over again. Overreaction. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert will pay at the polls for getting kicked out of a play for fondling her date and vaping. No. Reality? No. No, she won't. But it is the greatest sentence of all time. I mean, I can just sit here and read the headlines over and over again, and it just makes me happy. It should make you happy, too. This is a member of the United States Congress, by the way, and what a rock star she is. Yep. All right, you ready for it? I want to keep reading it. Man groped by Lauren Boebert during Beetlejuice date owns gay-friendly bar that hosts drag shows, in quotations. Man, I like that a lot. I love that. What was that word? Good, I'm glad you asked. Headline, New York Post. Man groped by Lauren Boebert during Beetlejuice owns gay-friendly bar that hosts drag shows. There. Have a nice day. Reality, her MAGA supporters don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Now, I think there might be one thing they care about. It's probably not going to deal with vaping or groping or flipping somebody off. Or it won't do it. None of those things that you think are embarrassing are going to hurt her politically. I do think there may be one slight risk. But here's the story. Oh, do you want me to do the headline again? Good. Here we go. This is man groped by Lauren Boebert during frisky Beetlejuice date owns gay-friendly bar that hosts drag shows. Oh, Lauren Boebert groped Beetlejuice date in heavy petting session before getting tossed out. Blames behavior on divorce. Yeah, there's that. Because that's what people do when they're getting divorced. They grope each other and vape and stuff like that. Who doesn't do that during a divorce, right? Oh, this makes me happy. Does it make you happy? It's kind of fun. It makes me happy. All right, here you go. New York Post. A bar owned by Representative Lauren Boebert's apparent new friend has staged at least one drag show. It's like a Coen Brothers movie, you know. It's just like she's a Coen Brothers movie. The Hooch Craft Cocktail Bar in Aspen, which is co-owned by Quinn Gallagher, staged a Winter Wonderland burlesque and drag show. Huh. Okay. Sounds like a pretty good time. Gallagher, a Democrat, was caught on video with Boebert grabbing her breasts while she appeared to rub his crotch. That's what they write. Crotch. I never say that word, but that's what they've written here by the New York Post. Appeared to rub his crotch as the pair took in a performance of Beetlejuice at the Buell Theater in Colorado. Okay, well then it gets better. Wait, how can it get better, Jeff? Because it just does. That's how. How can you not like this? I haven't even got to the vaping part. You know what she's most upset about? That she lied about vaping. That's what's bothering her the most. Here you go. This. Oh, it's another New York Post story. These multiple days of this. You can't beat it. Lauren Boebert squeezed in a quick groping session between vaping and loudly singing during her already infamous Beetlejuice viewing. Later, blaming her inappropriate behavior on her ongoing divorce. Yeah. Let's see. Security footage from Denver's Buell, B-U-E-L-L Theater Sunday shows the 36-year-old Colorado Republican reaching down for her date's crotch shortly after blowing a plume of vaporized smoke into the air, which she initially denied doing. By the way, I think she said it was a fog machine they had inside the theater, and I'm not making that up. I'm not making it up. That's what she said. Oh, they got a... How in all this can the only thing that bothers you is vaping? Oh, does it make you happy? If I mention it makes me happy, this kind of makes me happy. I just like it. All right, here you go. When her date, Democratic Aspen bar owner Quinn Gallagher, age 46, in turn appeared to fondle her breast, the Congresswoman aggressively grabbed his hand to keep it there. Multiple audience members complained that the Congresswoman was smoking, obstructing their view by raising her hands, taking pictures with the flash on, and loudly singing. Have I even started to ask the question about Beetlejuice, the musical? Have we started to talk about that yet? She's singing to it? The lawmaker flipped off the ushers, before finally leaving the venue, but not before warning them she would report them over the incident. "Do you know who I am?" she said. In a statement on Friday, Boebert apologized for her behavior, saying it's because of her recent split from Jason, her husband of 18 years. The mother of 4 and grandmother of 1. Wait, what? What? She's 36. She's 36. All right. Grandma. The mother of 4 and grandmother of 1 filed for divorce in May. All right. She's 36. Boebert, who also has a long history of arrests, staked herself as one of the most anti-LGBT members of Congress and a tough critic of children being exposed to drag entertainment. You know, like the ones her husband, her new boyfriend does. "Take your children to church, not drag bars," she tweeted in June. "Yeah, or I'll grab your crotch," she said. She didn't. I made that up just because I want to. "I'm a Christian, so they may try to drive me to my knees, but that's where I'm the strongest." That was a tweet in July. She was really feeling it then. Here's her statement just to tell you how upset she is about this whole thing. There's no perfect blueprint, she posts, for going through a public and difficult divorce, which over the past few months has made for a challenging personal time for me and my entire family. And I've tried to handle it with strength and grace. Well, who would question that? I mean, she is doing a bang-up job. I mean, gosh, imagine if she wasn't handling this well, what would happen? It's like being an orgy in the theater. So she just wants you to know she's been trying to handle this with strength and grace. And a vape pen. Okay, wow. All right. Here's why she was vaping and fondling the guy in the theater. Whether it was the experiment, this is what she's posted. Can't make this stuff up. Whether it was the excitement of seeing a much anticipated production or the natural anxiety of being in a new environment, I genuinely did not recall vaping that evening when I discussed the night's events with my campaign team while confirming my enthusiasm for the musical. She's so excited about that play, she's vaping and groping all at once, man. Who knows who else she fondled? She's just running around touching people because she's so excited about the play. What a line. Whether it was the excitement of seeing a much-anticipated production. No, it's not a much-anticipated production, you yahoo. It's Beetlejuice. Whether it was the excitement of seeing a much-anticipated production or the natural anxiety of being in a new environment. Because that's what most of us do. Like if you're ever, you go to someplace new, what do? You vape, you grope. You just start touching people. That's the way it works. All right, that's her statement. So what's the risk here, Jeff? It's not the vaping. It seems she's fixated on the vaping for some reason. Where else do we go with this? It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be the groping. First of all, I'm a little lost. There's a Beetlejuice musical, and she knows the words. She did say that she wasn't vaping. It was a fog machine. So there she is in the theater making out with her boyfriend who owns the bar Hooch, like they're in her Camaro in high school. She refused to leave. Her guy owns a bar in Aspen. He hosts parties for Gay Ski Week, just letting you know. It's cool. None of that stuff, in my opinion, is going to cost her politically. I don't think. Groping, touching, fondling, vaping, boyfriend hosts Gay Ski Week, all that stuff. What might, and what she's afraid of, her boyfriend that she's groping and blowing smoke in his face is a Democrat. Now that, to her supporters, followers, or whatever we call them, that they will not tolerate. Fondling, whatever. Vaping, whatever. A Democratic boyfriend, no way. No way. Overreaction. Oof, the Chiefs are dead. Don't bet, kids. Do not gamble. Reality. No, not even close. In fact, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Jacksonville and Kansas City. What's most impressive is Kansas City went to Jacksonville. And not just they go to Jacksonville and won. They go to Jacksonville, and it really wasn't about Patrick Mahomes, and it wasn't even about Travis Kelce. They did it with defense. Really good defense. They held a ridiculously good Jacksonville offense at home to 9 points. Nobody does that. Nobody outside of Dallas could do that. That's what is most impressive. You know what you'll get with their offense. You know what you'll get with Mahomes. You know what you'll get with Travis Kelce. What you didn't know, I didn't know, I'm not sure anybody could see coming, is going on and taking on a really, really good Jacksonville offense, and you hold them to 9 at home. No, they're far from dead. You don't pull off that kind of game and have any of us turn around and say, well, the Chiefs are dead. The Chiefs are on borrowed time. Or the law of averages catches up with the Chiefs. Now, law of averages doesn't catch up with you when you play good defense like that. That's ridiculous. That's why you shouldn't gamble.